everyone. This is Faith at Faith and Books. How are you doing? I am going to just give a quick video. I want to talk about two things. One is the Theology Book Club, and the other one is to see if anyone wants to buddy read or maybe have a small group read of a book for April. So the Theology Book Club. I'm going to put up a new invite code or whatever it is, the link in the description box below. I can't find my community tab. It seems to be gone. Did YouTube update and get rid of that feature? I can't find it. When I click community on my laptop, it just shows me all the comments. It doesn't have like the community tab. Am I remembering things wrong? But I know I posted the link on the community tab last time, but I can't find it anymore. So that's weird. But anyway, so I'm just going to put it in the description box below. And I know it expires after a number of weeks, so this will be the new one for the next several weeks, however long it lasts. We just finished the question of canon. That was for the first quarter of the year. We're going to have a discussion on it, I think, on the Discord channel itself. It's called Movie Sharing in the, I think that's where we're going to have it, in the Discord group. What was I going to say about that? Oh, it's going to be, I put out a poll, only a few people answered, or two other people besides myself, and I'm going to go with April 6th at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And the reason why is I know that Christy Lewis can make it then, and she's a stalwart, so I want to, accommodate her. But also, I figured it was kind of unfair to do it earlier in March. I want to go away that last weekend in March. So the second to last weekend, if people just started reading it for March, they might not be done with it. Even now, if you start it now, it's March 16th, and you just focus on the book, you could get a good way through, probably. You'd probably read it all before April 6th. Also, I'm going to say that people who weren't able to read the book, but they're curious about what it was about, you can join in too. So I'll link below. Of course, you have to be a member of the Theology Book Club, and you have to genuinely want to discuss the book or hear about the book. But yeah, so I'll do that. Now for April, May, June, April through June, the end of June, the next quarter, we're going to read this book. An essay on the development of Christian doctrine. You can find this at the Newman Reader, which is an online website. It's also at Project Gutenberg. I bought this at Thrift Books. You can buy it just straight off of Amazon. I don't know if there's an audio for it. I don't know if I could listen to an audio of it. Anyway, this is his essay that he wrote right before he converted to Catholicism. And it's about, how do we know that doctrine is developing in an authentic way? And it's thicker than I thought it was. So I think what we're going to probably read is part 1, which is his whole introduction and theory. And then the very first chapter, chapter 5 in part 2, where he gives all his notes or the things that he thinks are the tests that make sure that doctrine is being developed authentically. I want to try to read the whole thing. The other chapters, and there's several, are all applying it to various topics in church history. And I want to try to read the whole thing, but you don't have to. If you just read the first part, which in my edition goes up to page 148, and then I really need new glasses. I can barely read. And then read the chapter 5 of part 2, and that goes up to 203 in my edition. So that's how much. And then the rest, a good chunk you don't have to read, though I'm going to try. And, if you want to try and read the whole thing, we have 3 months. So, all right. So that's the Theology Book Club update. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I was watching Miranda Mills, and she was giving her list of great spring reads. And one of the books that she mentioned was this book, which is very shiny. Somebody put the cellophane on it or plastic. But it's Elizabeth and Her German Garden by, can you see the title? The author doesn't have the author there. Anyway, this is a book that I bought a long time ago at a little antique store in town that buys a lot of books from estate sales. And look at this. This was gifted to, or it was a Gladys Esther Rising. Isn't Gladys Esther like the nicest old-fashioned name? Bridgewater, New Jersey, January 20th, 1913. Isn't that cool? So I have read Enchanted April. I saw the movie that inspired me to go read the book. I've read the book a couple times. And I know I used to have a copy and I don't know what happened to it. But I've also read Elizabeth Van Arnam's, Von Arnam or Van Arnam. Let me see if I'm saying that right. Why don't they have the name of the author? Oh, look at this. Look. Look, there's no author listed. Look at that. That's weird. Well, anyway, I think it's Von Arnam. Anyway, I read her book, The Pastor's Wife. I think I read it a couple of times. And then I bought this. I remember seeing this and being excited about it and buying it. Maybe I dipped into it, but I don't think I actually read it. And I've been wanting to read more gardening books because I'm trying to be a better gardener this year. In fact, I just transplanted my green onions into the garden this morning. You know, and I read a lot in January, or I read some in January, but I haven't really been reading since. So in April, I thought maybe I would try Elizabeth and Her German Garden. And I was hoping that people would want to buddy read. Now, I know I have one person who says that she'd like to buddy read. But I'm just wondering if anybody else is out there that wants to read more Elizabeth Van Arnam and wants to read about her garden in Germany. So, all right, so that's the second thing I wanted to talk about. So we've got an essay on the development of doctrine coming up starting in April. We have 3 months to read it. And then if anybody wants to read this, buddy read this with me in April, I would welcome it. Let me know below. We would discuss it on Voxer, and the discussion for the question of canon is going to be April 6th at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I'm going to put the link in the description box below. Okay, I hope you're having a wonderful day and happy reading. Bye.